Hey, so I have a simple message for you, and that's to use feedback wisely. Now, back when I was a college freshman, I wasn't the best student. In fact, I kind of struggled. Sports was my big thing. But after about a year or so, I really started paying attention to the feedback I received from my teachers, especially one particular teacher, Douglas Kelly, who was my communication studies mentor and a teacher I took a lot of classes from. Now, what happened is I started writing down the feedback I received on multiple papers, put it down into a list, kind of made a journal out of it, really focused on it. And when it came time to writing new papers, I made use of that feedback. So guess what happened? I did a lot better. I did great. And now I'm actually teaching college classes. So if I can go from struggling in college when I was a teenager to within just a year having my grades just take off and do great, and really to a large extent because I was making use of the feedback, if I can do that, you can do that too. So I want to tell you my checklist that I often use when I'm grading papers. And in an online class, we do a lot of open discussion forums. I call them mini essays. I really care about how well you express your ideas. That's through writing. Now, how can you do that? Take a look at the checklist. First, you have be organized. Second, use key terms. Third, use direct quotes. Next, make sure you use insightful details. Use specific examples. And finally, make a personal connection. So those are the things that I want you to do. Now let's take it back to this message of use feedback wisely. What's going to happen if you're missing some of that stuff? Well, I'll probably tell you something like explain key ideas more. Don't forget to use those key terms. Oftentimes I simply look to see, does a person use direct quotes from the reading? Do they put things in the author's words and then into their own words? Well, if you're not using key terms, if you're not using direct quotes, and you get the feedback that tells you, please, you need to go ahead and do that. Guess what? If it comes to that next paper and the next paper and the next paper, and you're not doing that, your grade's gonna suffer. But if you go from the first paper where you receive the feedback to your second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and all the way through, you're making use of that feedback, your grade will improve. And just as importantly, your ideas will be expressed more clearly and more fully. Remember, these are discussions. They're not just papers, they're connecting with people. So if you want to connect with people in your online classes and have your ideas expressed fully and completely, be sure to go through that checklist. Hey, if your ideas aren't organized, you're going to be hard to follow. If you don't have the key terms developed, you're not going to be participating as intellectually and as fully in the discussion as you could be. If you're not using the direct quotes, you're going to leave me wondering, did you even do the reading? So if you don't have insightful details, people are going to think, oh, I didn't get too much out of that. And last but not least, if you don't have the specific examples and some kind of a meaningful connection, it's just going to feel like information. You want to make that information meaningful. So those are my 6 tips. Make sure to put them to use, and don't forget, use your feedback wisely.